Okay, looks like it worked. Looks like it worked.
Yep.
All right, we'll just wait 2 minutes, maybe 3, and we'll get started. Hey, Gordon, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
How you been?
I've been well. How about you?
Mostly well. Well, today anyway.
Ryan did an amazing job at the 200
Yeah,
foot challenge.
I wasn't feeling 100%, so I kept myself away from the crowd. But I really, guys don't have video of that, do you?
We do not. No.
Isn't that a shame? Somebody ought to do that, for all these things.
I need a volunteer. You up for the videographer role?
I don't know. Somebody could do it for a profit because I'm sure people would pay to get them at the end. It's like I used to go to horse shows and there was always somebody there filming, and then the parents, usually it was kids, the parents of the kids would pay a lot of money for the video.
All
So
right.
so there you go. Could be a business.
I feel like the applicants are kind of like the kids in this scenario. We'll have to think about that.
We are all kids, all of us.
There we go. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Thank you everyone for joining. We're here today to hear about the Center for Advancing Point of Care Technologies, a UMass initiative that is focused specifically on point of care technologies in the heart, lung, blood, and sleep domains.
Yeah, and
I'm not sure about 100, but 70 to 80 definitely we should be
yeah.
able to find.
Let's work our
Do you have
personal
the ability
networks
to mute,
and
Alexei?
get those people scheduled. So Monday when we meet with Chiara, let's talk about the schedule for those 21 meetings.
Are you able to mute?
Thank
You know,
you
for the
for
first
making me
kickoff,
co-host.
you know.
Got it.
So each of us try to do 3,
Hold
2,
on.
you know.
If we could ask everyone to please mute, I'm not the best screen sharer and stopping sharing and
if
all
you can
that to
find a
make it,
conference.
okay.
Like you said, if we can find an event going on, you can interview a bunch of people during that time too. Like you can meet 10 or 12 people.
If
Hold
you
on, I'm gonna
click
start
on the
again.
3 buttons next to their name, upper right corner, you can mute them.
Okay. Working on it. Can anyone do that or it just has to be the host?
Host and co-host.
Okay, Alex, so you're now co-host as well, so. All right, let me try that again. Getting some practice on screen sharing today. Here we go. All right, again, here we are for the, this will actually be our 8th iteration of this funding opportunity that we, the Center for Advancing Point of Care Technologies under UMass, a joint initiative between UMass Chan Medical School and UMass Lowell. And again, specific to heart, lung, blood, and sleep disorders. And it's not advancing, so. All right, here we go. These are the people that you're going to hear from today. I am Marianne, with me is Alexei, and we are very grateful, thankful to have Valerie, Noah, and Jonathan, who have all been through the program, to share their insights here shortly. So again, this is us. We are funded by the NIH for the Center for Advancing Point of Care Technologies. Under another initiative, we're also funded by the National Institute of Aging, but that is unrelated to our conversation here today. All right, I guess we're going to do this first. I think Valerie, if you are able to go first, that would be great. Just share a little bit about your experience. This is a very casual environment, so no pressure.
Sure. Well, my name is Valerie Obenchain, and I'm the founder and CEO of AIRS, which we provide solutions all surrounded oxygen therapy for patients. So anybody that requires supplemental oxygen therapy. We applied for CAPCaT grant and we were awarded it, and it's really helping us to complete a really key milestone. So we're actually going to get 2 pilot studies and a lot of patient feedback, and some publications will come from that as well. So to be able to obtain a grant like this with non-diluted funding and be able to complete key milestones has really been such a benefit to heirs and the company. Fundraising has been really stressful lately. So to be able to get these, like I said, a grant that will actually complete a key milestone and really help us set us up so that we do look more attractive to investors by having that clinical data, by, you know, being able to prove that our solution works as we say it does, and being able to actually get that data. So we are very thankful to be a part of the CAPCaT community, and it's been really beneficial because they've also, not just with this grant, they've also passed on other opportunities that we're applying for now. So it's really been a great network and a community. So.
Yeah, we really appreciate you applying. We're thrilled to hear that you were awarded and working through the program. Thank you for your kind words. And yes, the whole point is that this is one opportunity, but then it becomes a network of additional opportunities as we go along. And we're looking forward to having you on June 3rd at our event to pitch your technology. But we can talk about that in a few minutes. I'm sorry, not able to see who's on the call when I'm sharing. I don't know if it has had a chance to join or not. Noah or Jonathan?
I'm here. I don't think Noah will be joining us. She's actually on maternity leave, and she's been very helpful in organizing all kinds of things despite having a newborn. So anyway, I'm representing Daxor. So Daxor is a company that's specialized in blood volume technology. We are maybe a slightly different type of participant than some of the other awardees, in the sense that we both have an existing technology that is FDA cleared. We have a device out in the market that's, you know, broadly in clinical use and has been for decades. But the company is in sort of a kind of startup phase in which we are actually quite actively looking to innovate on this technology that's out there. So we have a 2-pronged approach, both kind of increasing awareness of this test, which we think is already making a difference in healthcare in a lot of areas, especially heart failure and critical care, but also pushing to the next generation. So we have our existing technology uses a radioactive tracer. It's I-131 human serum albumin. It gets injected into a patient, and then we sample from the bloodstream later. And using the indicator dilution method, we can tell how much blood volume someone has. It's a pretty unique test. Almost all blood tests involve telling you the concentration of something in the blood, but our test tells you how much blood someone has, and that's crucial for volume management in all kinds of conditions. So in terms of our interactions with CAPCaT, they've really been incredibly helpful in providing us not just with funding, but really adding value to the whole process of funding that comes ultimately from NIH by having a network of experts who are available to assist with both applying for funding and in getting key expert opinions and consultations to make our efforts more successful. So we've had multiple interactions. We awarded a grant in 2021 for using our device for point of care heart failure diuretic dosing, and we did something was hard for us to do, which is to sort of develop a kind of follow-up to heart failure. Our device often used, for inpatients, and we're trying to see whether it can be part of ongoing monitoring. And we collected post-discharge data. We had a separate award from CAPCaT that was given to another organization called Catalyze, that helped us do some preclinical work on a novel fluorescent version of our test. So the fact that our test currently uses radiation is a barrier for access for a lot of people. It sort of completely precludes like pregnancy and pediatrics mostly. And there's just many situations and locations where the test could be given if it didn't have a fluorescent, if it didn't have radiation involved. So we've developed a new tracer, but this is a long process to take something from a kind of proof of concept phase all the way to an approved drug. So having access to the kind of network of experts that CAPCaT helped us provide was really value added, and they helped guide us through that process. We had another grant in 2023 in collaboration with Duke that involved using wearable sensors in combination with our device. And that's again been a kind of collaborative effort that involved a lot of coordination with new ideas that just a company at our stage would find hard to sort of manage and fund on our own at this point. So that pretty much sums it up. We still have another application pending with Catalyze to continue the fluorescent tracer. So that sums up our experience, and I'm very grateful to the CAPCaT program and highly recommend it to potential applicants and awardees.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonathan, again for joining. I think in both of these, both Valerie and Jonathan, completely unprompted, unprepped for this call. So really off the cuff remarks, and we're very thankful. I have no idea how Daxor is operating without Noah, though. I mean, she is nothing short of amazing. So you guys must be in a tough spot right now.
She is great. Well, I mean, I'm reluctant to even email her about anything, but when I do, she's like, I don't know how she's managing. She not only has a newborn, but has other young children. So she manages to answer these kind of things. She was the one who set me up to be part of this.
Yes.
Yes,
I'll have to send her a note. But yeah, thank you so much. I think what you're hearing is really what has become a community of innovators. We're always willing to provide letters of support and other services, as you mentioned. And at the same time, you're always willing to give back to us as well. I know there's a whole group of you who provided a letter of support for a very large initiative that we're putting in here at the university. So again, that back and forth is really what it's all about. So thank you again, and I welcome you to stay on if you want to listen further. If not, again, we really appreciate your help as we go through this info session.
Oh, we're very helpful. We're very happy to participate.
Yeah, no, it's great. All right, so who should apply? So really startup companies, researchers from academia, anywhere, anything that falls into those categories. And so it's not simply startups at a specific TRL or researchers at a specific TRL. We do tend toward later stage, but that is not necessarily always the case. So why should you apply? Because it is non-dilutive funding. It is about $100,000. And how it works is that you lay out the project plan and it's milestone based. So when you meet that milestone, you file an invoice and you get reimbursed. So again, the stages of development can vary. Like I mentioned, definitely tend toward the later stage, but there is not a specific TRL defined, and that's on purpose, to cast a wider net to see what's out there in these areas that are novel and can be game changing in the point of care space. What happens after you receive the grant, I think probably hearing it, I don't know if you're willing to speak again, Jonathan, after you receive the grant, again, you go through the project, you reach a milestone. We do have a program manager specifically dedicated to this who keeps track of all these details. And you submit an invoice, it goes through the accounting system, and then you get reimbursed for that expense. So I don't know if you want to add anything, Jonathan or Valerie. I know Valerie, you're newer to this part of it, but I think you're in you've received your just in time. You're probably in your IRB phase, but I know Jonathan has had a little bit more experience, so I don't know. I think I got it at a high level, but if there's anything you want to add, that'd be great.
No, I think that's accurate. If there's specific questions, if someone wants to ask, I'm here to give you some feedback.
Okay. Nothing hearing directly from the awardee. So yeah, so thank you. In connection to the point of care showcase it's an annual event that happens toward the end. This year it's on June 3rd, where you have the opportunity to pitch, and it's for review, feedback, exposure to a panel of large strategic investors, as well as VC investors and angel investors. So that's really kind of at the end for you to see. There's a whole host of networking, a poster session that goes along with it. So it's also a great event. All right. What you will need, you'll need and this all required is non-confidential information that you would share. We don't want anything confidential, don't want to risk any public disclosure, anything like that. So a non-confidential executive summary. And I think there's also an option to upload a non-confidential pitch deck that was supposed to be added as a feature this year. And tips for success is really to focus on the need, how it's novel, why it's important, the solution itself, and the business proposition. How do you plan to derive revenue from it? And really, how is it in scope for the solicitation? Heart, lung, blood, and sleep, while it doesn't sound like it, can be very broad, as many of you probably know. So really say, why is it in scope for the solicitation? Spend a lot of time on that. And then the other thing that's really important is there's a lot of touch points along the way. So really demonstrate how you're team oriented and that you're coachable. As we prepare for a lot of the events that happen along the way, there is coaching provided. So that's also an important part of it. I think we'll take a minute for Alexei to share his screen and walk us through the application. Alexei, you ready?
Yep.
I'll let you take it away. So this is where the link brings you.
Here's the screen. There is
This is the long version of everything I said so far. I went with the Cliff Notes. We don't operate as I probably should have mentioned, we're part of the point of care network that the NIH stood up years ago. And there's a coordinating center, which is CIMMIT, and they have created the They have created the portal, just FYI. It's not matching, huh?
I keep not making one long enough. It has to be 16 characters.
Every year it gets longer, every cycle. You start thinking your dog's name, your cat's name. It's like,
Here we go.
all right, so this is what it looks like. One thing to really highlight is in years past, it was a two-part process. This would have been an expression of interest when you would have got invited to a full application, but we have been delayed this year, so it's one step. It's just this one application. So a bit more comprehensive at this level. So just go through, answer the questions. That's probably gonna look for a real email address, Alexa.
Yeah, I figured.
He is so good. I wouldn't be able to do this in front of 30 people, so my hat's off to you. This is a good point to mention that you do not have to be based in the US, but if you're not, you will be asked to have a domestic partner, whether it be an academic institution or an existing company, just FYI.
Can you be an academic institution and a business, like 50-50?
Yes, from outside the US?
Inside.
Inside, absolutely, yes, yeah.
So you could select both on that
You
preview?
can, you should be able to. Can you select both actually? No, only one?
No, only one.
So whichever one you want to be primary, you would choose. Good, then you go through and explain the unmet need. You have 500 words there again. Describe your product or solution, really highlighting how it's different and better than competitors. The proposed solution overview at a very high level. And then you can go to the next one. What's this one? Prototype. And then the stage of your prototype, how mature it is, and that's based on, yeah, there you go. You choose from all of these. And what are this is an important question. What do you want? What activities do you propose to complete? Your major milestones. And there'll be more paperwork to really lay those out, but you want to include it here as well. So. IP is required to apply to this opportunity. So explain in as much detail as you can about the IP that you have. Again, we really want to make sure that you're well protected in that area.
Again, there, can you select multiple if you have issued and provisionals?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes. Yeah. There is no limit to the number of milestones proposed. That is, if it gets too onerous, they may come back and ask you, hold on, go for a second, Alex. They may come back and ask you to consolidate them, but there is no limit. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, they just want to sell information on IP. I wasn't sure if we got to regulatory yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, so here's regulatory again. What does your pathway look like? What are you proposing? If you've had a pre-sub meeting with the FDA, make sure you, oh, it's right there. Make sure you highlight that. What's your anticipated time to the patient or the market? Reimbursement strategy, again, how do you plan to derive revenue from this innovation? What have you raised for funding so far? It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, the revenue plan. Who is your customer? If you've done some work around competitive analysis, that's a good place to include that as well. your team, highlight the strength of your team, their skills. If you have a cross-disciplinary team, make sure you're listing everybody out there. Work address, just the basic stuff, yeah. Areas of expertise. This is really an implementation science, so. Letter of support is optional. But that's where you would upload it. And you're gonna want to click on the budget, the center budget form over on the right. Oops. The center budget form is what you're gonna want to click on to complete that form, save it, and then upload it after. Can you click on the center budget form? Does anything happen, Alex? Right now or no?
Well, let's see. I was sort of just uploading our board minutes here. Here's
Yeah, that
the,
was a good test, but let's see. I just wanted to
Yeah.
see if center budget form, if you click on it, if it brings up the blank form correctly.
it does, let me share.
Oh, if you have to stop sharing, I just wanted to make sure it worked.
Yeah, this is what it shared.
Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, perfect. That's the form you'll fill out, save, and then upload. That's a good question, Gordon. In prior years, when it was a two-step process, yes, everyone got feedback from the EOI stage. We receive a lot of applications, so we don't know. It's going to depend at this time. The level of detail that we're able to provide at the EOI stage, we would do an early screening, and then some experts would provide the feedback that would, lead us to invite them to a full proposal or not, and you get some feedback. But this year, I mean, we have had years when we get over 100 applications, and given the situation that we find ourselves in, we're not sure if we're going to have the level of expertise to provide feedback on all 100 to get down to 4 or 5 awards. Sorry, is FDA review validation required? It is not. If you've had a meeting with the FDA, though, that gives you some definite information as to your path, you would want to say, yeah, we met with the FDA and this was the result. Can you go up? Did I miss? Is it provisional or pending patents? Yes, it is. Yep. Yes, Travis. Regulatory compliance. Yes, if we'll include human subjects or not. You do have an IRB is required. And we can help with that if you don't have one. IOCook definitely plays a part as well. Good, and then some optional uploads if you have visuals or diagrams or cited references. Yeah, it's good to check to make sure they all work. Yeah. Time frame for the project. It will kick off. We are behind, given the situation again that we find ourselves in. We are definitely behind. We're going to try to be on track to complete in August for a September start again, like in years past. It's a bit different this year, so we'll have to keep in touch very closely. What's this one? Request for support services. We can help with all of those things. So if that's something you need over and above this application, we are more than happy to help and make the correct. What type of clinical study trial work has been proposed and funded that fits in the 100K budget? How about one of our awardees? Do you have any information that you're willing to share at a very high level? Not looking for any secret sauce.
Well, I can share a little bit. So the timing just worked out appropriately that we were working with Henry Ford Hospital to do the pilot study, but we needed funds for the devices for the study. So this 100,000 is basically going towards a next run of devices to do the pilot studies with. So that's how we're utilizing the funds.
So there were additional or supplemental funds to actually do the trial.
No, there's no
Oh.
supplemental funds. It's a
No.
study. It's more of a study than a trial.
Yeah, it's a pilot study.
Pilot
Clinical
studies.
trials are not required for our device, for our product in particular. I don't know about others, but for us, we have a class 2. We already had our a pre-submission meeting with the FDA. So we already knew exactly what we needed to do. We had been working on this for a while, and we put a lot of funds into it already. And the timing worked out right, where we had the opportunity to do this pilot study, but we just didn't have the funds for the next run of devices. So that's where this grant came in. So we were able to perform the pilot study now. So we're gearing up to get those started right now. So I'm very excited to present there on
Yes.
3rd with all the updates.
Yes, that's often the case, very similar. I don't know, Jonathan, if you have anything to add?
I'll just add that this is to me, an accelerator environment, and that's a good way to think about it. You need to have a project that is moving forward with support from various places. They highlighted the need to have, IP there. You should have something that's moving forward where this is going to help you strategically with something, but it's probably not something that's going to take you from 0 to 1. And I think if you have gaps, and almost everyone has gaps. We're a publicly traded company, and people are in a lot of different places in terms of what you need. But if you can think strategically about what you need and what you could do with that amount of money, and almost anyone can do something that really pushes you forward, I think you'll make the best case for getting that support.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Actually, can you read out the chat? It's hard to do this all at once. Can you see it?
Yeah. I don't know where you left off
Oh,
here.
actually, here we go. Wait, I got it. It just worked. Is there a limit to the number of milestones proposed? I answered that one. I answered Gordon's. Who would you recommend letters of support from? Definitely piloting sites, definitely customers, collaborators, all of the above. Yes, absolutely. All good. The ratio of applications to awards historically, it is a very competitive program. We award 4 to 5 per year. In the past, we've gotten as low as 80 applications, and as many as, I think the high is like something like 132 from the very beginning. But again, that was in the past when it was a 2-step process. So I answered the IP question, the FDA time frame for the project. Yeah, again, we're hoping to be able to kick off in September again. We answered the clinical, it's definitely a pilot study, not clinical trial. Point of care includes both of those things, yes, includes in-home or other extra clinical environments. You can apply for your existing study, absolutely. Yes, if your project involves developing a device for preclinical studies, and it doesn't matter that it doesn't require FDA approval, yes, you can apply. Good, that's all I see for questions. Anyone else have any? You can. Oh, yes, press OK, perfect.
There you go.
I want to ask something.
I'm sorry?
I want to ask something. Yeah, I already had that pilot project grant and we are starting clinical studies. So I asked here, can I apply for my existing study? Can I apply for something like getting some more grants so we recruit more patients in the existing study and continue it? Or is it that we have to have a new study for this particular project?
Wait, sorry, the existing project is already funded?
Yeah, I got the pilot project grant last year from CAPCaT.
Okay,
We are
yeah,
starting study.
you cannot be awarded the same project twice. No.
No, we want to study some more number of patients because the grant is 100K and we are doing just 25 patients. So if we can get some more, we may be able to do some more analytes as well. Like we can do non-invasive blood glucose monitoring. We have developed a probe and we'll already have a patented technology for that. So we can add it to the existing study. Is it possible?
Yeah, I think send a note. That's a bit of a different situation. I think the answer is no, but I would rather run it by the rest of the team to make sure.
Okay, so if we want to have some other analyte for study, right now we are using green light for measurement of oxygen. Supposing we want to study something like blood glucose because we already have developed a protocol, already have a probe. So can we apply for that particular project?
It should be, yeah, I mean, that one seems, that seems more distinctly different.
Mhm.
So it should be okay. But again, I would reach out separately. Where you already have an existing award, just to make sure. Separately from this meeting, I'm saying,
Okay.
yeah. Just to clarify.
I have a
Good.
question.
Sure.
I'm wondering, how are they protecting the IP if they're asking for intellectual property files? How are they reviewing and protecting the IP? It's always been an issue for me and probably would keep me from applying at this point.
Oh, nobody's reviewing the IP, they're just confirming that it exists. It's for your own protection? No. That's the only, just to make sure that it actually exists. So you don't risk public
So you're
disclosure.
asking for the patent numbers and the applications then?
I mean, you can run that
issue.
through a database to make sure it exists. Nobody is studying 120 or more in IP files.
Thank
The intention is just to help guide you towards protecting the IP that you're developing. That's
Exactly. Anyone else? Oh, you said we tend to go to later stage, and that's not always the case. Yes, it's not always the case. So our best recommendation is to apply, because you just don't know. It depends on the year, it depends on the amount of funding, it depends on what the reviewers are looking for in terms of specific expertise. So there's not any way to give a specific answer to that question. Anyone else?
Are the reviewers NIH reviewers?
The reviewers are a whole host of experts. The NIH only has final approval. We conduct a study section style meeting, exactly like you would find with the NIH, but sometimes they'll have an observer, but they don't actually participate. A fully formed or perfect team is not a prerequisite. No. We can actually help with teaming if you have any needs in that space as well. Did I miss any? Let's see.
You got all of them, and then I put up the FAQ slide we had.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, perfect. Yep. So we went over who can apply. We don't take any equity interest in your IP at all. And international researchers, you're welcome to apply as our international startups, but you do have to have a US based partner. Whether it be, like I said, an academic institution or a company. Funding it's approximately 100,000 per team, and we give out 4 to 5 awards per year. We do not give multi-year grants. It's the exact same one, yes, yep.
Is
Yes,
the
Andrew, it's the same program.
is the 10 or 15% overhead that's within the $100,000 budget, correct?
It's 100,000 net.
So a
It's-
$90,000 budget with a $10,000 overhead for 99,000, not 100,000 with a $10,000 overhead for indirect, I mean, for a total of 110,000.
Right, I have to look up the exact indirects. It's between 10 and 15,000 from memory. Sorry, I don't have that prepared, unfortunately. But you net, the net is about 100,000 after indirects.
The net to
And
the company, I'm still.
The net to the project, yep.
So it's really a budget closer to 115.
It's about 120. It's around like 120, 123. I don't have
Okay.
it in front of me, but I can send it over.
Thank you. That's very
Yeah.
helpful.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
I have another question. What
Sure.
exactly is this initiative looking for as far as heart, lung, blood? What is the real problem that's trying to be solved?
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for what problems people are out there solving that are novel in these spaces. So we're looking for
So-
point of care technologies that are in the heart, lung, bladder, sleep domain. So you've heard from two of the funded founders today, and there's others like remote monitoring is one, smart inhalers, smart stethoscopes, but looking for novel things in those domains.
Thank you.
Sorry, I think I missed a question. Hold on.
Yeah. If I received last year this grant, can I apply this year again? for some
You can
other
apply,
project?
it cannot be the exact same, it cannot be for the exact same application.
Some other project.
It's NIH money, so you can't use NIH money for the same thing twice.
Mhm.
It's usually a good way to remember it. Good, any other questions?
Yeah, this is not related to this, but I got grant for 2024, but some formalities are still to be completed, like a contract by the hospital with UMass Grant Office. So I'm yet to start my clinical studies. And I think last date for this 2024 grant is 31st August. So
Okay.
my question is, if my project goes beyond August, is
Uh-huh.
it possible that the hospital will get money from UMass Grant Office?
So you mean like a no-cost extension?
Yeah,
Those are considered, but it's ultimately up to the NIH. This is NIH money that is being awarded, so it's a case-by-case basis.
no, because we may not be able to finish all the 40 patients from June or July till August in 3 months' time. So the study may go even beyond August.
Mhm. Yeah, and you'll have the opportunity to apply. They're not always approved, so,
Okay.
and we don't have any control over it.
Mhm.
Marianne, you mentioned something about if you didn't have a lot of team for this initiative. Like, I feel like I have solutions, but I'm focused in on sepsis, but I want to help. I don't think I have enough team to do something like this. Is there people that are out there that could work around the IP or something like that? I just
Absolutely.
know
What you
if I
need,
could-
yeah, if you can send over exactly what it is that you need and like in the form of a description, like a job description, for lack of a better explanation, we can help with finding individuals to team up with you.
Okay, good, because I don't think I have enough team to impress anybody, but if I could, I don't
Absolutely.
want to look like I'm pulling in different directions, but I feel like you may have something to be helpful, and
Okay.
I just would hate to drop it. All right, thanks.
Absolutely, yes. Is an international study component permissible within the project scope? Yes, it is permissible. Again, you just have to highlight a US based partner. Regarding the budget, you put the budget together the way that it works best for you, and then if any part of it has to be changed, based on what the feedback that we receive, we work with you to do that. So you can definitely have some hourly commitment for the project PI is fine. You can have team member compensated as well. They can also be compensated from a separate funding source, unrelated to this, yes. You did preliminary validation with an SBIR. Again, SBIR and this program are both NIH money. So if it's the same work, you can't get NIH money twice for the same work. So if it's clear and distinctly different, you can apply for this money. Good, anyone else? All right, hearing none, I'm putting my email in the chat. If you have any questions that you think of after we end the call here in just a moment, feel free to reach out. And it's right there, Marianne_Picard@uml.edu. And happy to help with any follow-on questions. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for joining. And I think we can let you go if there's no further questions.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.